This is CityCast Seattle. I'm Jane C. Hu, and here's what Seattle's talking about. There's some updates around the legal struggles surrounding the King County Assessor. Women's sports is having a moment. We'll talk about the inaugural Torrent season. And as always, there's arts and culture news to cover. But first, we're in the middle of our spring membership drive, meaning we're hoping to sign up some new neighbors. And if you feel like you've been hearing about this a lot, you have, but that's actually great. We're very proud to be member supported. And we do have a goal that we're trying to reach. We still need about 67 members at the time of recording. I know that's a lot, but I would really love to hit that number or at least get kind of close so that when Jane comes back next week, she'll be so impressed at how well we handled things while she was gone. So here's what you get for joining our membership. You get bonus podcast content on Fridays, and that's tomorrow, by the way, invites to members-only events, plus a members-only event email that I send out every week, bragging rights, of course, and each time we do a campaign, we come up with a special offering of some kind to thank our members. And this time, it's really special. It's a gorgeous wool pennant with Mount Rainier on it. It says Seattle. It's in our beautiful teal color. It's truly a one-of-a-kind token of city pride because together we're making this city better. You can get the pennant and become one of the CityCast Seattle neighbors supporting the show for $10 a month or $100 a year by going to membership.citycast.fm/Seattle. All right, joining me today is critic and journalist Chase Hutchinson. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
And Ava Wood, aka 365 Hockey Girl, content creator and newsletter writer. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And we're excited to talk to you about women's sports today because women's sports is having a moment in Seattle. We've got new teams. We've got new sports bars. It's very exciting. And one of the reasons for that surge in love and excitement and support for women's sports has been the Seattle Torrent. We got a professional women's hockey team and the season's almost over. So let's recap how the Torrent did in their first year. I know it's not the best, but what's going on with the Torrent, Ava?
I think when you look at the Seattle Torrent, the first thing that jumps out is that they're at the bottom of the standings. But honestly, this first season of Seattle Torrent has been so magical. And even though it feels like we're at the end of the season, actually this final game on Saturday might be the most important game of the season.
Wait, why?
Because of the gold plan.
I was going to ask you about this. So the Torrent lost to the Vancouver Golden Eyes on April 14th, and they were eliminated, and that activated the gold plan for the remainder of the season. I have no idea what that is. What's the gold plan?
Yeah, the gold plan is one of the most exciting things in the PWHL. So one of the biggest issues in a lot of sports leagues is that at the end of the season, there's really no incentive for the lower ranked teams to actually win games because typically if you're last in the standings, that'll get you the highest draft pick. But basically, they introduced something into the PWHL, which is that after you've been eliminated from playoff contention, any standings points you accumulate after that actually contributes to your draft order.
Oh, okay. So you still want to do good because you want to be able to draft the best players. Okay.
Exactly.
That makes sense. So they need to win if they want to have a better shot at drafting better people.
Exactly, because Vancouver Golden Eyes actually won their game this week against Montreal. So Vancouver Golden Eyes are in 7th place, but they're actually ahead of us to get the first overall draft pick at this point.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Even though Torrent is quote unquote not the best team right now, they're still in the mix to try to get that first overall draft pick and really have a bounce back season next year.
Okay, sweet. And yeah, despite a tough first year for wins, if we're being technical, the Torrent actually has set records for attendance, right? 16,000 plus fans in the stadium. Chase, I know you went to at least one game.
I did. And I ended up on the thing for a reason. And then every person I ever knew from high school and college reached out to me.
Wait, you were up on is it the Twins? Is that what they call it?
I think so. I've been to many games. I'm going to go to their final game this season. So it sounds exciting that could be meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I'll add other than that is even when the times are tough, that's being a sports fan, especially a Seattle sports fan.
True. So true.
And so there will be those low moments, but I'm excited that there's hockey in the city. I'm excited that they're building for the future, and I'm excited to see whatever comes next for them.
And we do have a men's hockey team, the Kraken. They've been around for a few years now. Do we have any idea, Ava, if that team and their fans have Kraken fans, have men's hockey fans been supportive of the Torrent?
I think Kraken fans have definitely been supportive of the Torrent. It's so interesting, though, like, as somebody who wants to be a Kraken fan, like, it's a lot more affordable to attend the Torrent games than Kraken games, to be honest. Like, I can afford to be, like, a season ticket member of Torrent, but not necessarily of Kraken. So I think there's a lot of support for both teams, but I also know that, like, when you look at the attendance numbers and the excitement in the city, like, I think there's quite a few people who, like, it's more realistic for them to, like, go to a lot of Torrent games as opposed to Kraken. But there's definitely been, like, a really productive partnership between the two teams.
That's awesome. Yeah, the price differences have been very noticeable. And I don't know that their winning scores are that different.
Yeah, I think another thing that's really exciting about the Torrent is that because the PWHL is so small and because the draft is really giving you these players that can immediately jump into the league and contribute, I think it's a lot easier to kind of like turn around your team on a dime, if that makes sense. Whereas like for NHL, you really have to be planning ahead with your draft and how you develop players. But like this upcoming PWHL draft is like absolutely generational. I don't know if people realize how stacked this upcoming draft is.
Really? So there's like players to watch for sure.
No, this upcoming draft is going to change the PWHL for sure, for sure. Like when I was like deciding to become a women's hockey content creator, I'm being dead serious here. Like I was looking at three things. Like I was looking at the Olympics because I knew that was going to like boost everything. I knew the Seattle Torrent was going to be huge. But it's like this draft is like literally going to revolutionize the league. And I don't want to be that person's like, of course she's saying that because she's obsessed with women's hockey, but like, like Caroline Harvey, she was Olympics MVP in this past Olympics, U.S. Olympian, won the national championship this year. Okay, Patty Kazmaier Award. That's like the award for like the best college hockey player, and she's just graduating this year. She's already been to 2 Olympics, like.
Wow.
And that's just one player because you also have Layla Edwards, who is her teammate at Wisconsin. You also have Abby Murphy. Like it's kind of crazy, like how stacked the draft is. So
that's awesome. Nice. And because we're probably losing some of our current team, right? Didn't Hillary Knight already retire, or is that a plan?
Oh, no. She's not, don't worry. I mean, she's retiring from the Olympics, but she wants to stay in Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank goodness. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, don't worry. I think she's a free agent next year, but I think she has plans to stay in Seattle. We're still awaiting to hear about expansion. So this could be a very exciting offseason for expansion. And then like some of our best players are also free agents, like Julia Gosling. She's been amazing for Seattle Torrent this year. I would say she's underrated for Torrent fans. She's just not necessarily like a household name because she's Canadian. So I think a lot of like American fans just like she's maybe not on their radar, but she's been like our top scorer this year, to be honest.
Gotcha. And so if they do expand, like Portland doesn't have a women's hockey team, would they get one?
So they did something called the Takeover Tour, which is where they basically played some neutral site games throughout the U.S. and Canada. And that kind of helped them create a short list of potential expansion markets. So unfortunately, like Portland wasn't included in that tour. So I don't think they have data on that to evaluate it as a potential city.
Gotcha.
But I think we're going to see Detroit, I think for sure.
That would be awesome. I was thinking of like rivalries, and it's always Seattle versus Portland, but I guess Seattle versus Vancouver is just as good.
Yeah, honestly, I felt like the Seattle-Vancouver rivalry didn't feel super intense this year because both of the teams were honestly kind of struggling. But like when you look at these past 2 games that Seattle's played against Vancouver, I think that's the beginning of a future rivalry because now both these teams are competing for those gold plan points.
Mm-hmm.
In the big game we had just against Vancouver, Vancouver scored with 1.6 seconds remaining to take that game to overtime and eventually won the game. And that robbed Seattle of gold plan points. So
that was a heartbreaker.
That was a heartbreaker. So maybe we're witnessing the beginning of this rivalry now.
Nice. I like that. And speaking of rivalry, I know Heated Rivalry, the TV show, has made hockey so like, I don't know, top of mind, or like everyone's talking about hockey on the internet, it seems like. Chase, did you watch that show?
I still have not. I've been behind. I have so many other things to watch that I'm always like, I'll get to it. But maybe as the off-season watch, that'll be what I do. And then maybe there can be Heated Rivalry Torrent edition. There can be some
Exactly.
sort of women's league spinoff. I could see it happening.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ava, I was going to ask if there's like a heated rivalry equivalent in women's hockey, like IRL.
Oh, there's been so many heated rivalries over the year when you look at Canada, US. One of the players I just highlighted was Julie Chu. Have you ever heard of her?
Mm-mm.
I think she's tied for second most decorated like woman Winter Olympian in US history, but she was American Olympian, 4-time Olympian, and actually married to Carolyn Ouellette, who is a Canadian Olympian, women's hockey, and now lives in Montreal. But yeah, that's just one of many heated rivalries that have existed in women's hockey. And I especially loved heated rivalry because, yes, it was men's hockey, but like I think there's so much overlap there, right? Like a lot of women's hockey players have to go through a lot of those same struggles of all the homophobia in sports and whatnot. So
Sure. Yeah.
I thought it was really awesome that that show blew up. And I feel like it brought a lot of new fans, not just to NHL, but also to PWHL for sure.
Hell yeah. And so the last game you said of the Torrent season is coming up this Saturday?
Yes. And it's also their pride game.
Oh, okay. Perfect. All right.
And it's against Montreal, who has 2 players who are married.
Oh, nice. Okay. Awesome. And Chase, you're going to be there. Ava, I assume
yeah.
you're going to be there.
Of course.
Awesome.
It's you gotta ring out the final game of the year, whatever ends up happening. Obviously, there are stakes, so it matters. But I think it'll be a celebration no matter what for the first year. That's a big deal.
Absolutely. All right. You guys have convinced me. I'm going to go too. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, why the King County Assessor is being asked to resign again.
Join me in a quick daydream. Close your eyes and imagine rolling hills and vineyards, a glass in your hand, and nowhere that you need to be. Take a deep breath, let it out. Ah. If you want to make that dream a reality, head to Dundee. It's in the heart of Oregon's Willamette Valley, home of great wine and laid-back vibes. It's a place where you can make friends with the winemakers, take the windy back roads, and linger a little longer than you planned. It's just 30 miles outside Portland, and they've got all sorts of cute events. Like every third Thursday, they've got art on display with live music, food trucks, and wine tasting specials. Right now, Travel Dundee is offering a spring discount for CityCast listeners. You can visit traveldundee.com/citycast to unlock exclusive lodging promo codes for your next stay this spring. That's Travel Dundee, DUNDEE.com/citycast. Seattle's tastiest tradition is back. Seattle Restaurant Week is happening April 19th to May 2nd, and for 2 weeks, diners are invited to explore our diverse and innovative local food scene. This year, there are over 260 restaurants participating, and they're offering special curated menus highlighting their signature dishes and chef's picks. These menus are priced at $20, $35, $50, and $65, so you can find a restaurant, bar, cafe, food truck, or pop-up across the greater Seattle area that fits your budget, or maybe it just gives you an excuse to splurge a little bit. Personally, I love having a reason to explore new spots, and eating out during Restaurant Week supports our entire local food economy, in addition to the restaurants themselves, the producers, and food purveyors that they source from. Participating locations are also donating portions of their proceeds towards free community meals. Head to srweek.org to see an up-to-date listing of all participating restaurants and, most importantly, their menus.
So let's break down some dramatic events happening around the King County Assessor's office. Have either of you, Chase and Ava, been following this story?
Not at all.
My good journalism colleagues being on this story, covering the many developments that are important for accountability reasons, but I also wish would just end. But go ahead.
Yeah. Erica C. Barnett has been covering this for Publicola. Now there's a KUOW story talking about it. So for anyone who doesn't know, John Arthur Wilson, he oversees the department responsible for appraising property values in King County, and he's been King County tax assessor for 3 terms. And he's also been at the center of an ongoing case of alleged stalking and harassment of his ex-fiancée, which I feel like something like that happens. It doesn't have anything to do with his job, but it kind of calls into question the decision-making and character, I guess, of a person. And he has a very important job in King County. So obviously this is news. So his ex-fiancée, Lee Keller, has said in court filings that Wilson allegedly tracked her location in the past, showed up at her new address, and forcibly kissed her. Records also show a text exchange where Keller told Wilson to leave her alone, and Wilson responded, "Never."
The thing I'll say is that his political career is over, but he is currently holding tight to this role and is refusing to step down. And that just is dragging this out longer in a way that just becomes really heavy. And I want to acknowledge for like people that have been through something like this, you would just rather have it be that someone take accountability and step down for the good of all involved, including themselves. But he's continuing to do this, and we know entirely too much about his life. I think that he is making it into a spectacle in a way that, having done some reporting into similar topics, can be a way of humiliating the person coming forward, just to be candid, because then you suddenly drag it out further and put them through hell. And that's just really unfortunate. And yeah, it's a tough story.
So last June, the council asked Wilson to resign. That's when his ex had filed multiple restraining orders against him. And he was running for county executive at the time. And then in July, he was arrested outside his fiance's home, and he was jailed for violating an existing no contact order. Then in October, he dropped out of the executive race. He issued an apology, at least, and said that he would not seek re-election for his assessor position when his term expires at the end of 2026. And then in March, the Seattle City Attorney's Office charged Wilson with a criminal violation of a no contact order, and he pleaded not guilty to those charges. The thing is, why this matters, the problem is the council cannot remove him from office themselves. They can ask him to resign, but if he doesn't, a recall election by voters would be required to remove Wilson from office before his term ends.
Has there been anything in motion to get that recall going, just as a curiosity thing?
I don't believe so. I think that on Tuesday, they just approved the letter to ask him to resign. That took some time to put together, I guess. I just don't understand the reasoning behind having a position that you cannot remove someone, because then stuff like this happens.
Not to defend it, but I imagine it's that people get hesitant about subverting the will of the voters. But I imagine if this were to come up for a recall, the voters would probably not be entirely enthused, especially based on his recent conduct that feels like it's just digging deeper and kind of flaunting the process. I doubt they would be on his side.
So during the council meeting to approve the motion to sign a letter asking Wilson to resign, Claudia Balducci said that, quote, he was a stain on the reputation of this county, and referring to what Chase was saying about showing his character in all of this. Wilson was posting some strange things on social media, including photos of him in a hot tub. He used the quote, "What a great night to soak in the tub and let your cares float away," in response to this, which it's in poor taste, but in this moment, truly, truly poor taste. But this is particularly notable because hours earlier, a judge had just reversed an order requiring him to wear an ankle monitor, which would alert his ex if he came within 1,000 feet of her. And the reversal was because he said that he cannot wear an ankle monitor because he has a medical condition that requires him to soak his legs daily, which I guess is what the hot tub is for.
This story.
I know.
I'm sorry. It's one of those ones where it's if that really is true, because I don't want to dismiss people that might actually have some sort of condition, I feel like you just need to step down. Why the idea elected official posts taunting hot tub pic is a sentence I never want to hear in my life ever again.
No.
I don't know if there's any sort of legal accountability that can come from posting, or that there should be some sort of moratorium on like posting in regards to the process. I don't know if someone could be censured for something like that, but I imagine his lawyer is like, please stop posting. No more posting.
I feel bad because the hot tub debacle kind of puts him into almost like a cartoonish villain type of persona, to the point where it's like almost like sensationalized. Or it's like, why is this crazy guy doing this? But it's like, this is like a really terrifying situation for the victim. So yeah, just really sucks all around.
Yeah, no, you're right. It adds like a level of almost, comedy or something. Like it makes it like entertainment when it's just like a really sad situation. There was a statement also from the Seattle Women's Commission, which, if you don't know what that is, they advise the mayor, city council, and city departments on issues that impact the women of Seattle. And they said, quote, "The Seattle Women's Commission stands in solidarity with survivors and is calling for the immediate resignation of King County Assessor John Arthur Wilson."
I guess we'll just have to see how how many months are left in 2026? The countdown clock.
Yeah, we've got 7 to 8-ish, depending on how many days you're counting in there, I guess. But yeah, that's the thing, is if his job ends in 2026, is it worth doing the recall? I guess, or is this something we should just wait out?
That's up to people. I think that the coverage of this has pretty clearly exposed that this is someone who doesn't have the best track record and integrity to continue on in this position. And so if voters decide they want to spend the time and show up to try and recall him, I don't know. That's probably a valuable conversation to at least begin to have, because multiple times the county council has tried to give him the easy way out, and he has chosen not to take that. And it will then be up to voters, I guess, whether they want to spend that time waiting. I just can only imagine that if this is where we are at in April, it's not exactly going to be better in the road ahead.
Right. So I guess at some point, the Seattle Times ran an editorial arguing that it was unfair to condemn him for his actions and that he deserved due process instead of demands to resign. So I guess that due process would be the recall. So I guess we'll see if he takes accountability. We'll let you know what happens. Let's take a break. When we come back, the latest arts and culture news for all you movie nerds.
If you're in Washington and you haven't tried King Harvest hummus yet, you're missing out on a locally made favorite. Since 1977, King Harvest Hummus has been making their small batch, fresh hummus in Portland, Oregon. It's not like an average hummus. It's a thicker texture combined with bold flavors, and it creates raving fans after tasting it. Not surprising, since it's made local and fresh on the shelf. Some of our favorite flavors are roasted red pepper, jalapeno, sun-dried tomato, and of course, the classic. You can eat this healthy dip with chips, veggies, or add it to a sandwich or wrap. Or maybe you just want to eat it with a spoon. Most people buy more than one because once it's open, this healthy dip disappears fast. You've got to try it to love it. Don't miss out on expanding your snack experience with this locally made fresh dip. King Harvest Hummus. Simple, better, one dip at a time. You can find King Harvest in the refrigerated section at your local grocery store. Hey, it's Jane, host of CityCast Seattle, and I want to tell you about something we just added for our CityCast Seattle neighbors that I am genuinely excited about. Every Friday after the regular episode wraps, neighbors get access to an exclusive bonus segment and a special members-only ad-free feed. And I'm not just talking about filler content. I'm talking about the stuff that we all actually want to say that doesn't actually fit into the regular show. Recently, we talked about that high-rise in Denny Triangle with the plane in between two towers, and one of our neighbors wrote in to tell us about the background of the plane, which is incredible. So if you are one of those listeners who really wants to dig deeper into the city with me and the rest of the CityCast Seattle team, join us as a neighbor. You'll get the Friday bonus segment plus ad-free listening. You'll get invites to members-only events and a weekly preview of the best things happening around the city and more. It's $10 a month or $100 a year, and it goes directly to supporting this show and the team of locals that makes it happen every day. You can read more and become a CityCast Seattle neighbor at membership.citycast.fm/Seattle. Again, that's membership.citycast.fm/Seattle. And neighbors, I'll see you in the bonus segment this Friday.
So before we get to cut to the chase, I wanted to read an email we got from a listener because we've been talking about data centers a lot lately and how we don't really understand megawatts and things like that. And Graham SG sent us an email saying they're an electrical engineer. So hopefully I can provide some context. If you've ever seen the movie Back to the Future, Doc Brown's DeLorean uses 1.21 gigawatts each time it travels through time. So basically at 369 megawatts, is 1/3 of the power required to send Michael J. Fox to the 1950s. I hope this helps. Love it. That makes sense to me. I feel like if everything is explained to me in pop culture terms, that would be preferred. Chase, you got some arts and culture news for us? What?
It's like conjuring me. Pop culture, arts and culture news.
Suddenly Chase appears.
Yes. I can start with the Olympia Film Festival.
Yeah, we've got some film festivals coming up. What's going on in Olympia?
So we've been talking lots about SIFF, but kicking off this weekend is the Olympia Film Festival, starting tomorrow for when folks are listening to this. And there are lots of interesting films that I think I'm allowed to say the title of this one, Fuck Toys, which previously was at South by last year, SIFF last year, has been making a long festival run and is kind of an interesting cult favorite. There's WTO 99, the documentary that we had talked about a little bit ago and is still kind of making the rounds. There's this movie called The Scout about a location scout that had been at Tribeca and is now coming by. There's Blue Heron, which is one of the best movies of the year, and I'll be writing about that later when that comes out. There's the new Greg Araki, I Want Your Sex, which will be here before it premieres at SIFF if you're wanting to head out to there. But that's just kind of a sampling of some of the great stuff going on at the Olympia Film Festival, which has, I don't know if either of you have been, but the Capitol Theater is secretly one of the best movie theaters in Washington, in my opinion. It's such a cool space.
That sounds so cool. And this lineup is stacked.
I know.
Producer Sam just wrote in here, Fuck Toys is so good.
Yes.
Wait, what is Fuck Toys about?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay. So Fuck Toys is about a curse in a very kind of broad sense where there is this woman who gets sort of her like fate read by someone, a psychic, and then she has to spend the rest of the film breaking the curse in this kind of like heightened world called Trash Town. And she's like going about with her friend on a scooter, getting into fights, getting into shenanigans. It's like a little bit kind of Harmony Korine-esque film, but like very much all its own. It's kind of gained this cult status and hasn't gotten distribution, unfortunately. It has some local producers from Washington attached.
Oh, cool.
But it's gained this kind of cult status. And so every time there's a chance folks are able to see it, I'm always like, gotta go see Fuck Toys. And a sentence I'll never say in any other context.
I feel like this whole episode is just sentences we never,
I know.
Sentences no one has ever said before.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's another film fest. Is it the Seattle Asian American Film Festival? They just dropped their full lineup, right?
Yes. And so I haven't had a chance to dig into this as much, but I will be before it kind of kicks off at the end of May. But they have 5 feature films, 21 shorts, 2 world premieres, 20 regional premieres. And it looks like there's some interesting stuff. And they've kind of rebuilt and relaunched. So I'm hoping to give them some love and look forward to seeing what they got cooking up there as well.
Anything else important happening, Chase? Anything you're working on, reporting on?
I am doing some reporting on some of the antitrust ruling and whether that could impact music concerts, but that could be something we talk about next week. For
True,
this
I
week,
actually do want to cover that for sure.
Yeah, I know. We'll definitely have a conversation next week. For this week, the only other last thing I would say for all my book lovers, if they've ever read Albert Camus' The Stranger, the SIFF Cinema Uptown is opening a new adaptation of that on Friday. It's shot entirely in black and white. It's both very faithful and very radical. And I think probably one of the best new movies to see this weekend that I would recommend folks going out to.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that was being adapted into a movie, to be honest. I hadn't heard that.
And it's kind of a tough one. I don't know if either of you have read it, but it's a very interior, kind of unsettling existentialist, even though Camus didn't like that. But this reframes it and kind of expands what is being observed in terms of the historical context, questions about colonialism, who is paid attention to, while also still being very faithful to the book. It's an interesting one. It's for all my book nerds. They're out there, even though someone yelled at me that this book is a pretentious piece of garbage. Don't listen to them. Go see it. It's interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that in other movies, like a dude who you're supposed to hate, or like you're supposed to know that he kind of sucks. He's like holding that book.
Well, if he's taking it as inspiration, you're definitely not supposed to like the character of this book.
Okay, got it. Ava, anything you're looking forward to in the coming months that's like a movie, book, concert, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Grindhouse. It's like a quarterly drag show, but this upcoming one at the beginning of May has King Molasses, who's like a drag king that I really like, and I got to see him last year, I think, at like Emerald City Drag King Festival. But he was on the TV show King of Drag, but like his stuff is just like amazing. So
That's awesome. Sam's very excited about that as well. I love reading Sam's notes as we record. Oh, man. I feel like we have the best arts and culture in Seattle. We have so much good stuff. Thank you both for being here today. Chase, Ava, I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
thanks for letting me come here and yap about Torrent.
Anytime. That's all for today here at CityCast Seattle. I'm your fill-in host, Ashley Smith. And listeners, we want to hear from you. Send us your news tips, questions, hot goss, or your thoughts on the Torrent's first season by sending an email to seattle@citycast.fm. You can also text us or leave us a voicemail on the CityCast hotline at 206-880-3931. And we love finding out why folks join our membership program and become neighbors. Here's what Lori W. had to say. I try to vote with my dollars and support local communities by paying for talents that write the stories that bring communities together. And Nancy C. says, I'm excited to meet more people who have the same passion for our city that I have, and I want to be more actively involved. I believe CityCast will allow me to do this. Amazing. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Lori. And thank you both for being neighbors. If you're listening and you can relate to what Nancy and Lori just shared, feel free to join them. Go to membership.citycast.fm/Seattle. It's only $10 a month or $100 a year. And if you missed the URL, it'll be in our show notes. Until next time, see you, Seattle.
If you're enjoying the podcast, be sure to follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen so you never miss an episode. Also, leave us a little review. It's really helpful. And tell your friends about us. You can also get more local news and events delivered right to your inbox by subscribing to our newsletter. Just go to seattle.citycast.fm. And you can find us on Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at CityCast Seattle. And you can watch full episodes of this show on YouTube.